Bang, let's get it. Over the last 10 games, Kevin Durant has gone over 4.5 rebounds 90% of the time. There's a few pushes in here, but 5 rebounds for Kevin Durant. Let's look at the prop history. At this line over the last 3 months, he's hitting it 14 out of 26 time when the line is at 5. That's 54%. You see he has a number of pushes here. That's what I'm afraid of. I wish this was 4.5. Let's knock this down real quick. Look, at 4.5, he crushes it. It's a goblin on Prize Picks, and you might not find that anywhere else. Heavily juiced, not so much, but you only get a goblin, and then you can only bet the under on FanDuel. But put it back at 5. I don't even know if that's on Dabble though, but there's a few pushes in there. Again, he's hitting this 54% over the last 3 months, 14 to 26. Kevin Durant. Let's look at Kevin Durant point, rebounds, and assists. It's at 35.5. He hasn't been actually crushing that number. And then they play the Lakers, right? They play the Lakers. Oh, doesn't do well against the Lakers. Maybe we stick with the rebounds. I wish it was at 4.5, but it's at 5. That's heavy push action. Let's go to Sam Hauser. 5 rebounds and assists. We like the over here. The over is trending, even though with the pushes. Look at the prop history. At 5, when it's at 5 rebounds and assists over the last 3 months, he's hitting this 15 out of 23 times, 65%. This is Sam Hauser. Let's look at the injury report. Vooch should be out. Let's look at games without him. Not too much difference, even though there's not a ton of games. But that's Sam Hauser, over 5 rebounds and assists. Bro, how do we miss that one play? It ain't no how do we miss. It's always just one. But then I put the 6th pick entry in. Luckily, it was a flex pay. It did hit. But Yami Yaquez, over 14.5 points. He only had 6, but we smacked Grant Williams, Miles Bridges, AJ Mitchell, Wendell Carter Jr. again. And Cameron Johnson came through on the 14 points and rebounds. But that flex play hit. It was a 6th pick. We'll see what we do today. Let's go to Dyson Daniels. 12.5 rebounds and assists. He's dominating this. He missed a game here on the 12th. Just went over against Orlando the other day. Let's look at the prop history. Dyson Daniels at 12.5 rebounds and assists. He's crushing this over the last 3 months, 14 of 23 with the line at 12.5. And then I think they play against Dallas. They do play against Dallas. Only one game this season, which was on the 10th, and he had 17 rebounds and assists. I like the over here. Let's go back to the all. I like the over here. This is Dyson Daniels, over 12.5 rebounds and assists. Next, we got Scotty Barnes, also at 12.5 rebounds and assists. But the under is hitting 90% of the time over the last 10 games. He did go off against Detroit, 10 rebounds, 8 assists. Let's check out the prop history. With the line at 12.5 over the last 3 months, he's not handling that. 9 out of 26 at 35%. Let's look at the injuries, see who's missing. Anybody new? No, I think those guys been out. But Scotty Barnes over the last 10 games is not handling that. 12.5 rebounds and assists. We take the under on Scotty Barnes. I got Tyreek Easton points and assists at 11.5. No, he did just smack for us on one step. I can't remember what it was. Oh, we was under on Tyreek Easton points the other day. Anyway, at 11.5 points and assists, 90% to the under. Look at the prop history. 6 of 23 over the last 3 months with the line at 11.5, 26%. Anybody missing for Houston? Steven Adams still, all of them been out. We take the under. He is not handling that. Let's look at him versus the Lakers. 10 games versus the Lakers. Anything recent? Only these 2 games from this season. Only 1 game from this year. They played on the 16th, a couple days ago, and he went under. Tyreek Easton, under 11.5 points and assists. Look, Bones Highland, rebounds and assist line at 7.5. 100% of the time he has gone under over the last 10 games. Look at the prop history. Over the last 3 months, he's hit this at 8 out of 19 times with the line at 7.5. We take the under here. 10 straight games. He even had a game. Did he play in this game? He even had a game that he did not get 1 rebound and assist. And his minutes is fluctuating heavy, but even when he plays well above 16 minutes, Like here, he played 28 minutes and he barely hooked it to the under. 7 rebounds and assists. Bones Highland going under. Bang, let's get it. Nickeil Alexander-Walker rebound line is at 3.5. How you don't get 4 rebounds? I don't know. He did get 7 rebounds versus Orlando out of 12 rebound chances, but damn, 90% towards the under. Prop history. He's hitting this 5 out of 12 times with the line at 3.5. That's insane. This is Atlanta versus Denver. Atlanta versus Dallas. Jonathan Kuminga is questionable. Let's see games without Jonathan Kuminga. That makes 0 difference. 0 difference. We like Nickeil Alexander-Walker to score, but his rebound line at 3.5, if you take the under here, you're not going to get 4 rebounds. I'm playing that. We'll see what that do. Hey, Naz Reid without Anthony Edwards. This is his points, rebounds, and assists. First off, let's look at the prop history. With the line at 23.5, he's only hitting this 44% of the time over the last 3 months. 12 out of 27. Go back to the injuries. Anthony Edwards is still out, and let's do games without Anthony Edwards. This is points, rebounds, and assists. Games without Anthony Edwards. We faded it yesterday. Oh, we did not choose to play it because Anthony Edwards was out, but he still went under. Know what I mean? But, you know, most games without Anthony Edwards, he does go over. He did not yesterday. And looking at the last 10, obviously, with Anthony Edwards, get that out of here. Looking at the last 10, he's just not handling that. But again, without Anthony Edwards, usually he goes off. Same thing with Ayo yesterday. Without Anthony Edwards, Ayo still went under. Last 10 games, points and assist line at 22.5. He's not handling that. But let's look at the injuries again and do just without Anthony Edwards. Naz Reid is also questionable. 1 game without Anthony Edwards, which was yesterday. He had 21 points and assists, 19 points, 2 assists. I didn't play it, but we should have, you know. Anyway, over the last 3 months, though, he's crushing this number. 16 out of 25. He's hitting it 64% of the time over the last 3 months. And that's his points and assists at 22.5. The under here is trending. It's trending heavy. I don't know if we're afraid of this or not, but again, let's see who he plays against. I don't know if he played Utah. Wow. Did he play Utah while on the Minnesota Timberwolves? Looked like here one time on January 14th, he had 21 points and assists. He'd be so close. Maybe we take the under there. And that is all the trending plays. Let's go over to Daily Grind Fantasy. Wait, I forgot to tell you, this is pickfinder.app. The code is really Rico. You get 10% off for life. Let's go to Daily Grind Fantasy, see what they do. We're going to start on Dabble. I'm going to select everything. I'm going to get rid of everything. Just put the NBA. Don't we have some games today? And we don't have a ton of plays that are extremely sharp, but that's a ton of plays that are favorable. For example, oh, the Jokic under 40.5 points and assists. I'm afraid of that. Same with Austin Reeves under 4.5 rebounds. Rudy Gobert. I like Rudy Gobert under 15.5 rebounds and assists, but we're going to go look that up. Copy. Let's go see what Rudy Gobert doing. Rudy Gobert under 15.5 rebounds and assists. That sounds favorable to me. 1 assist, 12 rebounds. I'll take that. We're looking at rebounds and assists. Where is it? Right here. At 14.5. I think it's 15 sharp. Oh, he did go off without Anthony Edwards yesterday. But I'm going to look at the injuries and do games without Anthony Edwards. Oh, no. We're not playing that. We're not playing that. He went over the most previous game without him. Looking at the prop history at 14.5 over here on Dabble. It's at 15.5. Let's make that adjustment and see what that do. 1, 2, 15.5 still. Prop history at this line. He's crushing this. Not crushing this. 52%. 14 out of 27 over the last 3 months. We might have to stay away from that one. And then back to the sharp plays. I can't say that I really like anything. There's some college basketball shit coming up, though, that I definitely get down on. But that's for Thursday, most of the games. On Thursday. I see CJ Cox play Friday. The Michigan game is on Thursday. A day over 7.5 rebounds. We do like this from our He should crush that, but that's on Thursday. Let's look at Underdog Fantasy. Oh, it's late, but the games don't start to 7, so we're good. And then let's do this again. Get rid of that. Let's hit NBA. Let's hit NBA. Go to the data points. Come on, man. Put 2 in there. We should get something. Not a lot of value. There isn't a ton of value. It isn't. I can't even tell you to drop these. But Tatum, let's look at Jayson Tatum just returned, but 25.5 points and assists. Does that seem high for us? Let's go see what he's been doing since he's returned. Get out of there. Give me Jayson Tatum real quick. This is his points and assists at 20. I forgot already. 25.5. 25.5 points and assists. Make sure it's keeping up. Look, where is it? Where is it? Again, he's just returned. It has not been 10 games. Points and assists. Look at the last 5. When did he come back? March. Look at the last 10. When did he come back? Right here, March 6th. He's only gone over 2 of those games. He's only gone over 2 out of what, 5 games that he's played. Points and assists. The prop history not going to tell us much because he ain't been here. But at 25.5, you see here, 27 versus Washington versus San Antonio, did not cover. Oh, got hooked against Phoenix. Who do they play against? I think it's Golden State. It is Golden State. He loves Golden State, but all of those is old. Anyway, I just wanted to look that one up, but I don't think we jump on that. None of this is extremely valuable, even on Underdog. Some of you guys still play on Prize Picks. Let's see if there's anything on Prize Picks to get down with. We got to put a data point in too, and then we get rid of everything and go to NBA. Clear. And then go to NBA. Here are some favorable plays. Scoot Henderson under 4 assists. First. Derrick Jones. Yes. Derrick Jones Jr. under 17.5 points and rebounds. I think we'll take that one as well. But nothing else here. I don't like the first quarter joint. Bryce Sensabaugh under. Why is this line so high? Bryce Sensabaugh under 23.5 points and assists. That should be high for him, no? Let's go look real quick. Get out of there. Go to Bryce Sensabaugh. 23.5 points and assists. He should be under here. Where is it? Where is it? Right there. 22.5. The under's hitting at 70%. Let's look at the prop history at 22.5. He's actually hitting this 54% of the time over the last 3 months, which isn't horrible, but let's look versus Minnesota. I didn't think so. Only 2 games this season, though, and both of those games were in 2025 of November. Not sure what we're going to do about that one, but back to Prize Picks. There's some plays, but nothing that I absolutely love. Maybe Scotty Barnes. I like Scotty Barnes under. We just covered it on the trending, but let's look at him over 29.5 points, rebounds, and assists. Let's go back and put Scotty Barnes in here and see what they do. Scotty Barnes, PRA. Where is it? Right here. It's at 30.5 on Underdog. I seen 29.5. Let's look at 29.5. I don't know. The under might be in play. He does go over against 2 good teams, Houston and Detroit. What, you're not going to get up for a game like Chicago? Let's see him versus Chicago. That's too iffy for me. Well, it's not trending. The sharp play is under. Look at the prop history. At this line, he's only hitting this 41% of the time over the last 3 months, going 11 for 27 at 29.5 points, rebounds, and assists. But again, I thought we had Scotty Barnes trending. We did have him. Where is it? We got him rebounds and assist line. We got his rebounds and assist line right here under 2. How did that just change? Oh, that's versus Chicago. Look at the all. You know what I'm saying? But he plays Chicago. He plays Chicago tonight and usually crushes them. Only played them recently in February on the 5th and the 19th. Hooking it once and then going over the next time. But what's going on? Is his minutes down or something? Over the last 10 games, he's still averaging 33 minutes a game. No one's notable is missing. He's just not handling that, but did have 18 rebounds and assists versus Detroit, which is a good team. But it looked like, oh look, nah, he went 9 straight games going under 12.5 rebounds and assists. Not sure what I'm gonna do about that one. Man, we had a smack session yesterday, and the one damn play, one of the trending plays missed, and then I had Yami Yaquez miss my 6-pick entry. 5 of them hit, the flex play counted, but I think that'll do it. I'm really Rico. You already know. Let's get this dough, bruh. Peace. I'm out.